Hey everybody. Hi guys, welcome. Thank you for joining me on the stream. I decided to do a live stream with the new books, right? And the moment I set up my things and I start getting the stream set up, I get a notification. Slight Flourish is going live on Twitch. And I'm like, damn. I never go live. The one time I decide to go live, Slight Flourish goes live at the same time. So now nobody's watching. Mike, if you're watching, come over here. Leave your little stream alone and join me in the as we take a look at the new Dungeons and Dragons gift set. So let me, enough of the talking crap. Let's get to the book, right? Which is what you're all here for. So Wizards was kind enough to send me a review copy of the new gift set that includes the new Monsters of the Multiverse book. It's a book I've been excited about getting. It's a book I've been looking forward to. And now we have it. So let's take a look. First of all, I want to point out, let me go full here. So this comes in a beautiful slipcase with really nice art on it. This art, you might recognize it from the Essentials Kit DM screen. That's where this art comes from, which is really lovely art. The slipcase itself has kind of like a glossy sort of effect on the art, which looks really nice. You'll see the spine has an ampersand on it there, as does the top of the slipcase. So really nice presentation here. Inside the case, there are 3 books and a DM screen. The DM screen is the same as the Essentials as far as the artwork goes. You'll see the, hold on. You'll see the art is the same as the Essentials kit. And it has that same glossy effect on the art. Whatever effect that is, I can't really pinpoint what it is. I'm not very good at this stuff. But it's there. I think the screen is different as far as some of the information on it. Like, I believe this panel has more useful charts than the Essentials kit, but I don't want to, don't quote me on that because I'm not sure, but I think this screen might be a little bit more complete as far as useful tables and whatnot. And then the books, we get Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. These are new printings because the art, again, there's some kind of effect on the cover. Let me get my copy of Tasha's, my older copy of Tasha's. And you could see the difference. It's a different, you may not see it on camera, but I see it. Like, this is the old one, this is the new one. And it does have, the cover's different. This is the old one is glossier. This one has an effect that I can't describe. I'm not sure what it is. Matted. It's matte, but it's got like a gloss on it. Not sure. So there are new printings of the book. They just didn't take older books and slap them on there. Hey, Weemcast. What's up, the Weem? So the book, I haven't opened them. I haven't looked through them. First printing November 2020. So yeah, these are new prints. So I imagine all the erratas in here. As far as the books, they're the same books. There's really nothing new here. Same thing with Xanathar's. Xanathar's Guide to Everything has the same effect on the cover. Really pretty effect. It looks really, The camera doesn't really capture it, but the effect is really nice, and it makes the colors pop a little more. Like if you look at that cover, and let me get the old. Let me see if I have it handy here though. The previous version. I don't have it on my bookshelf here. No, I don't have it on my bookshelf. But the effect is really nice. The way it makes the colors pop a little bit. You can't really see it there, I don't think, but trust me, it's there. These are really nice covers, what they've done to the classic art, the classic, covers. The book itself is the same content. I assume all the errata has been added. Let me see. Didn't say anything. First printing, November 2017. And then we get to the book I'm most interested in, which is Monsters of the Multiverse. Mordenkainen presents Monsters of the Multiverse. And here's where you get the good stuff, the new monsters and the new stats. So this book originally, the monsters originally appeared in Volos and in Mordenkainen's. It also includes revised options from Princes of the Apocalypse, Eberron, and Mythic Odysseys of Theros. This is the biggest, this is the fattest of the books. It's got 283 pages of content. You have all the fantastical races in one book. So you won't find the regular races here. Like you won't find the a human or a regular elf or a dwarf. This is where they put all the extra races that have come out for the game. They've captured them and put them in here. The ability scores use the Tasha's system. So let me see. See your ability scores, you get to pick increase one score by 2 and increase a different score by 1, or increase 3 different scores by 1. Follow this rule regardless of the method you use to determine the score, such as rolling or point by. So they've completely moved away from assigning ability scores to specific attributes, which is fine. Each race fits on one page. Really nice art here. Some of this stuff I assume is new. Like I don't remember seeing this image anywhere. Who knows? Some images I remember. Like this, I've seen this one before. But there's some things that I just don't recognize from previous books and previous releases. Every single race has a accompanying art. Sea elf. Okay. Turtles. And then we get to the monsters, right? And I want to see if we can compare some stat blocks here between these monsters and the old monsters. Let me see if my Mordenkainen's. Here we go. I lent out my Volos book and I don't have it with me, but Mordenkainen's I do. Let me see what we can. Maybe someone in the chat can recommend a monster to look at that we can compare stat blocks to, because the big news here with this book is obviously the redesigned stat blocks and the new monster design, right? So Let me see. Who can we look at? Here, I open a page to Demogorgon. Let's see if we can take a look at Demogorgon. Demogorgon, there he is. Same art. It's the same artwork. Here's the old book, Mordecaians, and here's the new Monsters of the Multiverse. So there's the new stat block. Let's take a look at the old stat block. Old stat block on the right, new stat block on the left. Armor class remains the same. Hit points. Hit points went down. The old Demogorgon had 464 hit points. The new Demogorgon has 406 hit points. His speed stays the same. His ability scores stay the same. Saving throws stay the same. Legendary resistance. So let's see. His spell casting. They moved the spell casting stuff up in the stat block versus down as the last action. He's got the legendary actions. The gaze one, the tail, the cast a spell legendary action disappears. Multi-attack, 2 tentacle attacks, plus 17 to hit, plus 17 to hit. They do the same amount of damage. The gaze attack, the old one. So here I'm seeing a change in hit points and let me see. And the spells are the same. So all I'm seeing is a change in hit points. And then before you roll the d6 for the 3 different gaze effects, and they had it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now they just have it as 1, 2, 3. And you pick one. So, I mean, all I could notice there was the hit points. I didn't really notice anything else that stood out. See what else. Is there any monster in particular people want to take a look at? Ooh, here's Orcus. Here's an Orcus stat block. Let me see the old Orcus. Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at Tome of Foes. Oops. So was I wrong about the hit points? Did his hit points go up or down? That's what happens when I get nervous when I'm streaming, because I never stream. Make me nervous. 464. His hit points actually went up. So the Demogorgon's hit points increased. Let me see. One Demogorgon. I'm being asked in the chat if there's any out of combat spells that have been removed. I honestly have not gone through the book yet, so I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Not yet. So Demogorgon in Tome of Foes has 406 hit points, and in the new book he's got 464 hit points. So his hit points actually went up. They added hit points to the stat block. They added hit points to the stat block. Interesting. Okay, let me see if David in the chat. Do you remember any particular monster with a out of combat spell that we can take a look at? I'd happily search. I don't remember any off the top of my head. Let me see. Let me see. Let me look for a spell list here. Let me see. I'm looking at the Drow Matron Mother. Let me see if she has any spells in her old spell list that are. Zerial. I don't remember any. Let me see. Maybe some of the NPCs. Is this the book with the NPCs in the back, or was that? Let's see. It's Bolos. I don't have it with me. I'll have to get back to you on that particular question. The book includes some of the art from the layers of some of the monsters. Remember, these come out in I want to say it's Bolos, where they take a few monsters like the Mind Flayers, the Kobolds, the Yuan-Ti, and they map out their layers. This book includes those maps in it. A lot of the art is repurposed, obviously. Let me see if I could find something with a spell list on it. Hey, the GIF. Is it pronounced GIF or GIF? Kobold Dragon Shield. Kobold Inventor. I think these are all the same. I don't think these. Kraken Priest. Is that one in the original Mordecaians? Let me see. No. It is not. You want to compare Orcus stat blocks? Let's look at Orcus. He's always a popular cat. Here's new Orcus, and old Orcus is Orcus on the right, old Orcus on the left. Same amount of hit points, same armor class, same speed, same challenge rating. They rearranged the stat block a little bit. So New Orcus starts right after the challenge rating. New Orcus starts with the legendary resistances. Old Orcus starts with his wand. The wand is now listed as an action. Let's look at his spells. Okay, so Old Orcus had at will chill touch and detect magic. He had create undead and dispel magic and time stop. So at will chill touch and detect magic, and New Orcus only has detect magic at will. His chill touch is gone. 3 a day. Old Orcus had create undead and dispel magic. Now New Orcus has 3 a day dispel magic. And the time stop stays the same for both. So they got rid of his create undead 3 times a day. Unless it got moved somewhere else. So now you have wand spellcasting in the New Orcus. So while he holds his wand, he can cast some spells that use up charges from the wand. And those spells are Animate Dead, Blight, and Speak with Dead. And then Circle of Death and Finger of Death cost him a charge each from the wand. And Power Word Kill costs 2 charges from the wand. Wow. I don't think he had Power Word Kill before. No. And then in the legendary actions, they got rid of his chill touch. So they really don't want Orcus casting chill touch, apparently. Interesting. Someone in the chat, David mentions that Create Undead takes a minute to cast, which is correct. So it's not a very useful spell in combat, unless you want to lock Orcus down so he can cast a 1 minute spell. And then the book is really mostly, there's some new art here. So like I noticed, like for example in the Drow section, a lot of the Drows and Mordecanians don't have art attached to them. Here they actually gave some new art. So like here's the Arachnomancer. Then there's this dude, the Drow favored consort. And he's wearing, he's kind of silly looking, but so he's wearing a spider vest. He's got like a leather thing going on here. He's got some black Birkenstocks. Very, I don't know, he's got a nice look going on. I don't know what's going on there. You have the house captain here. There's some nice art. Drow Inquisitor, the Matron Mother. If you'll notice, this book goes with they don't remove alignment altogether. They still stick to the typically neutral evil, or typically this or that. They didn't just default to any alignment. So like the Drow Shadowblade here is any alignment. I gotta read her. I gotta read the fluff to understand why that would be, but some are any alignment, some are typically neutral evil. So alignment's not necessarily gone. They're just giving you more options to play with, and they don't want to commit you to any particular one true way when it comes to alignment, which is fine. You see here's a Mind Flare map from Volos, for example. I mean, the book is pretty much the same thing as Volos and Mordenkainen's. Here's the wizards. You have a whole bunch of different stat blocks here for wizards. This might be new. I'm not sure. Someone in the chat might remember more than me. Were all these wizards grouped together before, or is this taking different wizards from different places and grouping them together? So here's an apprentice. You go all the way from apprentice to a transmuter wizard. We got a necromancer wizard, illusionist wizard, evoker wizard. So they have all the different schools in one place. I don't remember if that's a new thing or an old thing. Somebody in the chat will know. Nice art though, I really like it, really nice. Nice stuff. A lot of monsters here. Yuan-Ti Temple map, that's from Volos. Zariel. How many Zariel stat blocks do we have now? We now have the Mordenkainen Zariel, we have this new Zariel, we have the Avernus Zariel. Is there a Zariel in the monster manual? I don't remember. I don't think so, right? There might be. Let's see. Is Zariel the monster with the most stat blocks in D&D? Most variations? She's come out a few times. No, I don't think she's in the monster manual. If I had the Avernus book here, I'd compare the new one to the Avernus one, but I don't have the... I keep some books in another shelf somewhere else. I don't have it in front of me. I'm going to take a look at that. Oh, okay. And then here in the back of the book, this is very useful. You got stat blocks by creature type. So if you're looking for elementals, you got them all listed here in order. You got stat blocks by challenge rating, which is very useful to me, and stat blocks by environment if you want to create random encounter tables and whatnot. These are always useful. If you're looking for a quick level appropriate forest encounter. And that's it. That's the book. There are no new monsters here, only remixing of previous monsters. I really need to do a deep dive into the stat blocks. I haven't really done that. Usually when I receive these books, I usually do a first glance flip through, and that's what I'm doing here. I haven't looked through the books yet. I'm looking at the first time, for the first time here with you. David in the chat says that in the D&D Beyond version of Volos, the wizard NPCs appear alphabetically spread throughout the NPC appendix. Yeah, so here they just took all the wizards and they bunched them up and presented them. This book is a revision of content that originally appeared in the books Volo's Guide to Monsters and Mordecai's Tome of Mordecai's Tome of Foes. It also includes revised options from Prince of the Apocalypse, Eberron Rise from the Last War. Alright. I think I'm listed on the original Mordecaians as a playtester. I think that's the one book where I come out and... Hey, there I am. I freaked out my son one time at a bookstore. I opened the book and I showed him my name. He was freaking out. There is no playtester list on the new Monsters of the Multiverse book. Boo. Boo. This book is also laid out with some of the little notes from the Mordecaian and Tasha's. Here you'll see, hair and gone. Fey puns are a menace. Mordecaian. Hair and gone. Here and gone. And that's it. I mean, that's the book. Not a very thorough deep dive. I haven't had a chance yet to read the books and compare them. I want to compare some of those stat blocks against what was previously there and see what we got. So if you guys have any questions about the book, I'll gladly answer them. If not, you know, that's really it, unless there's anything specific you want to see. Like I said, let's look at the DM screen real quick, because I really like this DM screen. I think I'm going to start using this one actually. I do use a screen in my games. I find them really useful, and this particular one, I love the artwork, and this chart, this page here with these tables. What's up, Jerry? Put a skull on it. I like your new name. I haven't told you, but I like your new name. Your new handle. Let me see what the screen I used. Let me see what tables it has on it. Hold on. Where is my table? So I think this last panel is probably the best panel in the new screen. And when you compare to this one, which I'm currently using this one. This is from the Wilderness Encounter kit. They have more or less the same information, just spread out differently. The Wilderness Encounter includes vessel speeds. This one doesn't have it, but it's more or less the same kind of information. The weather, the new screen has weather, which this one doesn't. I don't see it unless it's on a different panel. No. Yes. Oh yeah, it does have weather. It's just set different. It's just in a different spot. Yeah, so it's more or less the same information. It's actually the Wilderness kit screen has a little bit more when it comes to weather, because it has like descriptions of what happens under certain types of weather mechanically, which the new screen does not have. that kind of makes sense because this screen is aimed at wilderness travel. It did come from the wilderness kit, so that's understandable. My party is right now doing a lot of wilderness travel, so I think I'm going to keep using that screen for now. But one of the good things about this is that I have a lot of options, right? We have a lot of different screens available, and depending on the needs, I could swap out screens and use the dungeon one, for example, or this new one. But you guys, I really like this art. I'm in love with this party from the Essentials kit. I remember when that box came out, I saw the art and I loved it. And to see it here again in a sturdier screen with that matte finish that this has, really pretty. I really like it. I may have to switch over to this screen sooner rather than later. All right, so that's going to be it for this look at the books. I mean, unless there's anything specific. It's a quick glance at what we have at the book. Oh, I know Sly Flourish, Mike expressed some interest in looking at the Deathlocks. Let me see if if those are Mordenkainen's or Volos, I don't remember. And I lent somebody my Volos book. One of my players borrowed it, so I don't have it. So I can't look at that, but let me see. Let me see if the Deathlocks are in Mordenkainen's. Yes, they are. All right, so the Deathlocks. New Deathlock and old Deathlock. New Deathlock. The Deathlock spellcasting. Nothing about spell level, nothing about caster level in the new stat block. So the regular Deathlock, vanilla Deathlock has at will detect magic, disguise self, mage armor, mage hand, 1 a day each, dispel magic, hunger of Hadar, invisibility, and spider climb. He's got a grave bolt action that he could do. It's a ranged spell attack, and then he's got a Deathly Claw. His multi-attack lets him use the Grave Bolt twice, or the Deathly Claw twice. The old Deathlock he's a 5th level spellcaster with a spellcasting ability, blah blah blah. He's got Chill Touch as a cantrip, Eldritch Blast, Mage Hand as a cantrip. He's got two 3rd level slots, Arms of Hadar, Dispel Magic, Hold Person, Hunger of Hadar, Invisibility, Spider Climb, Turn Resistance, the Deadlock has. So yes, they definitely streamlined the Deathlock. He lost some spells, but he gained a Grave Bolt attack that does 2d10 plus 3 necrotic damage. So definitely a bit of a redesign there for the Deathlocks. Let's look at the Deathlock White. The old one had at will detect magic, disguise self, mage armor, and once a day he had fear, hold person, and misty step. Now he's got the grave bolt attack. He's got once a day fear and hold person. He lost the misty step ability. Let me see. And he's got the same stuff. He didn't really get too. There's not a whole lot of changes with him here. And the Deathlock Mastermind, he had an extensive. The Deathlock Mastermind had an extensive spell list, and he lost a lot of spells. He had. The new Mastermind has spellcasting, at will, detect magic, disguise self, mage armor, minor illusion, and once a day he can cast darkness, dimension door, dispel magic, fly, and invisibility. So they're basically a lot of the same spells. They just got rid of the slots and tracking, all that stuff. Yeah. And everything else is pretty much the same. Same challenge ratings, same hit points. So yeah, I gotta do a deeper look at these stat blocks, because off the top of my head I don't remember these things. So all right, well, that's my look at the Slipcase gift set with Monsters of the Multiverse, Xanathar's Guide to Everything, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, and a new DM screen. The slipcase itself is just really pretty for your shelf. And I want to thank Wizards of the Coast for providing this review copy of the set. I'm going to be, over the next few days on Twitter, I'm sure I'll be talking about it and posting things as I notice them, as I look at it, maybe even tonight. I'll give it a deeper dive. And that's it. All right. Thank you to those of you who joined me on the chat. Thank you. I know everybody else is out watching Sly Flourish. I hate that guy. But just kidding. I love you, Mike. But anyways, thank you. All right. And that's gonna be it. I'm gonna post this video on YouTube, and I'll be tweeting about it. All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Bye, David. Bye, Jerry. Bye, Weem. Bye, Dar Jr.